Hi guys, how you doing? Goddess of Chaos here. So this past week I was in Universal, and there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about. First and foremost, it was so hot down there. I would walk out of the nice air-conditioned hotel. We stayed at the Hard Rock, and as soon as I would step out, it was like I hit a brick wall of heat. Luckily though, I spent $15 on Amazon and I bought one of those nifty handy dandy neck fans. Now I got one of those last year, except the first day we were going to the parks last year, it fell off my neck and broke. Luckily that did not happen this year, and I can tell you that neck fan has been a savior. But yeah, probably the best $15 I spent. And here is a picture of me enjoying my neck fan in the middle of the Wizarding World with my 7-year-old daughter Raina, which you've seen on these videos before. Second, these foldable cups I'm about to show you. I didn't use it too much, but whenever I needed it, it was pretty nifty for a quick drink of water. And they're foldable, so you can put them in your pocket, fanny pack, or your purse, which I'll get into those in a minute too. Bring your medicines: Pepto-Bismol, Imodium, especially if you're someone like me who has irritable bowel syndrome. Keep a couple of tablets of Imodium on you at all times. Sunscreen, pads, trust me, you don't want to be in the middle of the park and you need something. It's bringing back memories of this recent trip, which I won't get into TMI. But okay, now back to the aforementioned backpacks and purses. Last year I bought a purse from the Wizarding World, just a regular style purse, and it had the stitching of the Hogwarts castle on it with a little hangy trinket of Hedwig. I wore that this year. It barely fit into the lockers where you need to put your stuff in before going on a roller coaster. Barely. I had to kind of scrunch it a little bit, if you know what I mean, just so that it would fit. You would think that, being that I bought the bag there, maybe it'd be able to fit into the lockers. I bought a real cute mini backpack, which I was actually planning on using, but that one is even wider on the bottom. It definitely wouldn't have fit in the locker, so I'm like, what am I going to do? So I just used my regular purse. So just whenever you're selecting a bag to carry around, use a fanny pack or something. The narrower the better. Just make sure that it's something big enough to carry around all your essentials that you're going to need to be comfortable throughout the day. On the subject of lockers, if there is a souvenir that you really, really want, try to wait towards the end of the day to get it. A lot of the gift shops in City Walk or in the port of entry, they have all of the good souvenirs that you would find like back in Simpsons or Wizarding World or something like that. So just keep that in mind, because you don't want to buy the souvenir early in the day and you have to lug it around both parks. You have to figure out a way to smash it into a locker depending on how big it is. Of course, if you have a non-rider in your party, then leave it with them, but chances are you're going to have to put it in a locker, and you don't want to be damaging your stuff in the beginning of the day. So yeah, just try to wait until the end of the day as you're walking out of the parks going back to the hotel to get your stuff. Also, I just looked it up, and a lot of the gift shops will offer to deliver your souvenir to your hotel. It just probably wouldn't be ready until the next day, and it looks like it's free of charge. I didn't know they had that. Not that I would have taken advantage of it, but it's also a nice little thing to know too. And another helpful hint: wear comfortable sneakers, tennis shoes, whatever you call them. I wouldn't recommend wearing flip-flops or Crocs because a lot of those do not give a lot of support. You want a shoe that has good support and is a good walking shoe. My personal favorite brand is Brooks. More specifically, the Brooks Glycerin. That's what I'm wearing on my feet right now. I'm not going to show you because they're kind of dirty, and the ones that I wore on vacation were also glycerin. I also like the Brooks Ghost and the Adrenaline. I've worn those before too, and they're pretty good. Seriously, they are a little bit more of a pricey brand, around $100, $160, depending on which one you get and depending on if you find them on sale. Yeah, I would say I was tired in Universal, but my feet honestly did not hurt, and I was astounded. So I'm like, yeah. When it comes to footwear like that, if you're walking around a park like Disney or Universal, you get what you pay for when it comes to your shoes. Now, I know $160 can be a bit much. So another brand, I would go with Asics. I have a pair of those too, and those ones are pretty comfortable too. So they are not quite as expensive, and they are very close second for me, the Asics. Now, on to some of the fun stuff. One thing I'm going to talk to you about is Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. Unfortunately, this magical ride does not have an express line, but we were able to ride it fairly quickly right after the parks opened if you have the early park entry, which we did. So as soon as the parks open, you make a beeline over to Hagrid's, and we were probably in line for maybe 35 minutes, and that's nothing compared to how long the lines for that ride can get. So just a couple things I do want to tell you. No express lines, and do it early in the day. If you are someone who is known to have IBS, just to be on the safe side, I took a couple of Imodium. That way, by the time I got to the back of the park, I was good to go, Now, a couple things about the queue for Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. There are a couple of places in the queue that it can feel a little bit cramped and you might feel a little bit claustrophobic. There was one point, and I will try to upload a video or images of where I think I started to feel panicky, but my heart started thumping, my hands were clammy. I had to just calm down and breathe real slowly and hold on to metal bars. It didn't last very long because we only waited there for a few minutes, and then we just kept on walking. But if you are stuck in line, that might be a part of the line that you're not going to be too crazy about if you're someone that tends to get claustrophobic. I also found out that whenever the single rider line is available, if you elect to go that route, it could kind of bypass some of that. I've never done it myself before, and I didn't see that the single rider line was available whenever I went, but then again, that was right after rope drop, so I don't know. I'll have to try that next time. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about is, if you can't tell, I am a bigger lady, and what a lot of people experience on rides in Disney and Universal is sometimes the seats just don't fit us. Now, I did go on a diet and I lost about 10 pounds, 15 pounds before I left, so yay me. But I was still very nervous. Now, last year, I couldn't fit on the Forbidden Journey, and I'll get into that in a second. Hagrid's I got on, but it was tight. It was tight. Now, this year was a little tight for me too, but it wasn't as bad. So just a couple things. Whenever you're getting on a ride and you're not sure, don't be embarrassed to tell the attendant. They want you to have a good time. They don't want you to not ride a ride. They want you to have fun there. So if you're not sure, tell the attendant, like, hey, I may need modified seating, and they can direct you on what seat or what row to go in. They see it every day, and like I said, they know you spend a lot of money to go to Universal. They don't want you to not have fun. So for me on Hagrid's, they directed me towards the motorbike part, because you have the motorbike and then you have the sidecar. The sidecar is known to be a lot smaller. I don't know about a lot smaller, but I've heard that there's more room on the motorbike. So they clicked me in pretty well on the motorbike. And just to show you, like, kind of like a full profile, I'm going to include a picture of that just so you can get an idea of my body type. Now, I'm about 5'9". I'm a little under 300 pounds now. It was a journey. But just to give you an idea. So, but whenever you sit down in the motorbike part, be prepared to push and suck in that gut a little bit too. You know, just to ensure that click. So the next coaster I want to talk about is a really good coaster, but unfortunately this one couldn't ride it. And she loves roller coasters. I think she measures about 48, 49 inches, and you have to be about 52. Was it 51 or 52?
52, I think. Yeah,
okay.
52.
And she couldn't ride it because of how the shoulder harnesses are. They're the ones that come over the shoulder, and you had to be a little bit taller. But maybe next year, huh? If we go next year.
Maybe. Right, I'm sad.
Now, I was able to ride it, and it was very nice because you go up to the platform, and there was a row, like on the floor, that actually said modified seating, and it told you exactly which rows and seats it was, and I'm like, yes.
She loved it. I know she did.
Hulk smash! Another good coaster that luckily I didn't have any issues in was the Mummy. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I don't like the little like bugs that like come.
It's a screen, okay? It's a screen and you hear the sounds. There were no bugs. Don't let her fool you. But yeah, I had no issues in any of the seats. Now, the Rip Ride Rocket. This one, for some reason, loved it.
Well, I didn't like the drop because it was like straight up.
Yeah, I heard. I didn't sit with her. She sat with her dad, but she was somewhere behind me, and I heard her crying.
I was like,
yeah, she was.
Dad, I hate this.
But
I did like the ride. It was a very good one.
It was. Now, I was a little cramped. They told me what seat it was, which, if you wanted to know, it's just go into row 3. They are a little bit bigger than the rest of them, I think. The lap bar was a little tight and uncomfortable, but you know what? With how much you pay for a vacation, what's a little circulation cut off to the legs? It's okay. It only tingles for a minute or 5. Next one I'm going to talk about is her absolute favorite.
Yes.
Which one?
Velocicoaster.
This kid. Whenever I was her age, I was afraid of roller coasters. I didn't start going on roller coasters until I was a couple years older than her, I think. But she rode the Velocicoaster. How many times would you say?
I think like 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 of them were with me.
I loved it.
In a row.
Yep.
Now, so whenever I got on, the attendant said that all the even numbered rows will give you extra room. At first, they tried to put me in row 2. Now, for some reason, the shoulder harness wouldn't click, and they tried to tell me that, you couldn't ride. And they said, have you ridden this before? And I said, yes. And I was I was a little bit heavier last year. So I'm like, I couldn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
They couldn't get it to click. They then tried me in row 12, which was the last row. which I think is the best one because you get more airtime.
Yeah, and like it goes like up the further drop. That's the best. And I like where like there's water underneath and it like does like a corkscrew.
But yeah, I think in the last seat you get more airtime.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you're not sure, tell them, hey, I want to go into row 12. Row 10 worked for me too. It did. Yeah, I had no troubles. You just gotta sit your butt back as much as you can, and the odd shoulder harnesses that come down, you just have to kind of make sure that you put your hands and you're like pushing down on the corners. I'll try to include an image to show you what I'm talking about. But yeah. And the Forbidden Journey, that's the one I was forbidden to ride last year. Wasn't I sad last year when I couldn't ride
Yeah,
it?
I don't like that one because it squirts like air at you. It's like a dragon. I don't like it. I also didn't like the spiders. She hated them.
Should I include the the photo of me closing my eyes?
Yeah,
I think they need that.
and we are not lying.
So anyways, again, let the attendant know, hey, I might need modified seating. Most likely they will direct you to one of the outer seats, not the two middle ones. Gringotts was a little bit more comfortable.
One of my favorites.
In the back row, they give you a little bit more leg room and a little bit more give in the back row. The last time I rode it, I think they had me towards like the middle, and it was a little tight, but I was still able to do it. So I really didn't have any trouble getting on that one.
Love.
So that's all I can think of right now. I wanted to make sure I posted this video because there are a lot of, overweight people that go to parks like Universal and Disney. And I wanted to be able to help you get the most out of your vacation. And I figured a video like this would help you have a fun vacation. That's all we really want. And if you are a bigger person, I wanted you to know what seat you can ask the attendant for, what row. Like I said, don't be embarrassed. They see all shapes and sizes of people every day, and they just want you to have a good time, and so do I. So, yeah, if you have any questions, please comment, and I will do my best to get back to you. I do have a very full life at home, so I'm very busy with a full-time job and this one.
Subscribe, everyone.
Yeah, subscribe. And I just wanted to help you have a fun time there. So, yep.
We all love you guys. Bye.
Go out into the world and cause a little bit of chaos. Have a great night, guys. Bye.